What's up, guys, and welcome back to GESC. We have the finals of the SA qualifiers. Infamous taking on SG Esports. Perhaps it's what you may have expected looking at the teams, perhaps not, but at any rate, should be a good one. We have best of 5, and that's going to be hard for Infamous. We had a 20-minute break. They just got done playing a full best of 3, and now they have to play best of 5 up against SG Esports, who I would say in general are going to be considered the better team. So good luck, man. It's going to be difficult. I'm Michael. I was going to be your caster for these games. My chair is all messed up on the carpet, but I fixed it. Don't worry. What do we got here? We have very similar bans from Infamous's end of things. SG Esports taking out the Viper and the Night Stalker. Very interesting. The Razor is still in, though. And, you know, we don't get to see Razor all that often because he's always first banned. So, and that's always a thing. But SG Esports going to go for Elder Titan as their first pick. Bane, Sand King, a possibility for the Infamous squad. Maybe I'm a little bit too high on Bane, Sand King, but I just love seeing both of those heroes in general, let alone paired together. Like, they just get so much better. Even better than they already are when they're paired together. You do so much aggressive shenaniganry early on, if shenaniganry is a word, which I'm not sure if it is. They'll go for the Chen instead. That's the hero that I didn't realize he was still available. Naga Siren still is in, although Naga ET might be a little bit aggressive there from SG Esports. The ET is already pretty good up against the Chen. Very kind of combo-based hero, that Chen. Got a micro very precisely, and if for whatever reason you can't do that, say because there's a stomp in your way, well, you're not going to get your combo off now, are you? But opting for the Chen instead of this Razor is going to mean that Infamous got to do some heavy lifting early on. That's pretty much why you pick up Chen, so that you can get very kind of broken lanes in the early stages. And then as you move forward into the mid game, you just push any lane you want at the drop of the hat.
5 seconds remaining.
Very, very powerful hero in the early stages, this Chen. So we'll see what Infamous can do to kind of abuse this hero. Again, another hero that we don't really get to see all that often, in SA at least, because it's just consistently first ban. Like every single time, who are we going to first ban? Well, ban that Chen. And you know what? You're usually going to be okay that you did. The Razor's a pretty decent hero to kind of start dealing with that Chen. Not because he's really great at killing off his creeps or anything like that, but because Razor's pretty active in the early stages and is rewarded for being active in the early stages. So, I mean, that hero, ET, the fact that you can pretty reliably get some pretty good value off of your spirit damage-wise, and of course that stomp means that Chen is, you know, not going to have the best of opening matchups in this particular game. But, of course, it could still get much better for him. Now, I would say overall, SG Esports are going to be the favorite over Infamous. We saw last series, Infamous were kind of inconsistent in their gameplay. Like, that last game was solid. They played exactly what they should have, just tried to extend the match and get that OD up to that tipping point. And the 2 games before that, they were, or I guess, the game that they lost, that was just an absolute shit show. So, here's hoping that we actually have an interesting series, because, again, Infamous are tired, SG are not. Never want to discount fatigue when it comes to making these, even these drafting decisions. When you stare at a draft screen long enough, everything kind of just blends together, you know? We'll take down the Terrorblade. I think that's probably one of the scarier heroes to go up against with a Chen in combination. Quap as well, although Infamous, they can very easily go for someone like a DK here, someone like a Death Prophet here, or hell, go for both of them. Why not go for both of them? Both those 2 heroes work really well with that Chen. I wouldn't be surprised to see an OD either. Perhaps not the absolute best hero. The Razor is typically picked up against OD, but you know what? That's still reasonable, I would say, from the Infamous side. Really all about how much early game aggression they can get going. Their supporting crew is most likely already set in stone right now. Although they could put Sankey in the off lane, Chen in the pseudo jungle, dual off lane scenario, whatever you want to call that, and then pick up someone like a Witch Doctor. Pretty good at messing with the Razor there. Really, if you're Razor, you're gonna push in. You gotta make sure that you don't have Maledict on you. As soon as you're hit with that Maledict, you're not really sure if you should continue that chase or not, because the damage you will receive is intense. So I do like that option for Infamous. Is going to mean that they're very, very focused in that early game. You don't want to have an offlane Sand King if you're not also trying to win by 30 minutes. You typically just don't have a good time at that stage. So, the possibilities for sure from the Infamous side. They do have the last pick, but they have juggled around their mid lane heroes so much so that I don't really think saving the last pick for the mid lane hero is an absolute necessity for Infamous. For some other teams, they kind of have to, but for Infamous, like, Pepita is going to be playing the mid lane usually, but we've seen Kotaro and Stinger both play quote-unquote mid lane heroes, if that makes any sense. But go for the Beastmaster. Infamous going to look to probably go for a Lycan next. This is another way you could go about getting these push comps going. Beastmaster, of course, offers you that aura. Chen and all of his goons are going to be amplified by that aura, and if you get a Helm of the Dominator, even more attack speed. If you get someone like a Lycan, even more damage. It gets really, really dangerous really, really quickly. At the same time, you're working with a lot of bulk on the front lines. Beastmaster is incredibly tanky, and ooh, it's Beastmaster Death Prophet. Infamous aren't bullshitting around right now. They're gonna go ham. They want to go in early and often and try to just bully SG Esports. Now, fortunately for SG Esports, they didn't first pick any heroes, or really early pick any heroes that are not going to be ready for this. Razor is certainly going to be ready to party early on. Witch Doctor and ET, these heroes, would rather get some items up, I guess, get some levels. But if they're forced to fight in, they are going to be more than capable of doing so. So, I would expect this game so far to go the following way. Infamous are going to try their best to group up and take some early towers. They'll probably take down all the tier 1s without too much of a fuss. By the time they look at tier 2s, that's when things start to get a little bit difficult for them. Depending on the timings, depending on the angles, depending on whether or not they have Blink Dagger on Sand King, these things will always determine how well your game goes. But in this game, it is especially true. Still looking for that safe lane. Lycan is probably easily the best, but let's be honest, they can go for a Lone Druid, they can go for a Luna. Any of these kind of early push-based heroes, hell, even a Troll Warlord is pretty nuts. Or a Vengeful Spirit, like Infamous have options on options, and SG Esports have to make sure that they are going to be ready to fight early on. About now is when you would really wish you would be able to pick up someone like a Tiny. Let's see, Infamous do have a lot of physical damage. A lot of their damage is going to be coming out through attack speed. So picking up armor bulk is going to be quite nice. You can go for someone like a Legion Commander, answer that Beastmaster's Roar really well, and since the enemies typically will be clustered up and with a lot of creeps from the Chen, Overwhelming Odds typically does do a pretty good job at clearing that out as well. That is, of course, if they're looking for an offlane right now.
Radiant team back.
They'll go for a Pugnut instead. Interesting. Seen quite a bit of this from SG Esports. From SA in general. Pugnut just kind of pops up. Now, there is a lot of upside here on the Pugnut. There's a lot of downside as well. The upside is that if he has at all a reasonable lane, then Pugna going into these early game fights is an absolute monster. The amount of burst damage he could put out is insane. You force the micro decisions of Infamous very quickly. And with the Nether Ward, you can absolutely destroy Death Prophet. Of course, Chen, Beastmaster, they can sick their creeps on the ward and bring it down at a reasonable time, but it's a very, very kind of hit or miss hero, I would say, in this particular setting. It's not a Pugna setting where you're like, okay, we're going to pick a Pugna and we're going to go push. That's not how that works for SG. We're going to pick a Pugna and we're going to get ready to fight with him. If they can keep the ET stomps kind of blocking the way to the Pugna, if they can keep the Razor in the front, then the Pugna can get a lot done, but it is going to be a little bit difficult. Again, it's going to come down to almost entirely the angles, where the Roar comes in, where the Burrow Strikes come in from. You never know. But SG at this point should be still looking for their offlane. Pugna in the offlane is not completely uncommon, but I don't know about that one. The Morphling is going to be banned out here for Infamous. I wonder if they're still going to go for that Lycan. The amount of push off of that will be dirty. Absolutely dirty. I mean, Lycan Beastmaster is always like a combo. Lycan Beastmaster Chen gets really, really ridiculous. I don't know if I've seen Kotaro play a Lycan, though. In fact, I don't think SA is really high on Lycan in general. I mean, just looking at this already, Lycan is... He's pretty well countered by the SG heroes, but it's like, it's so good for Infamous's draft in a vacuum. I don't know if they're going to pull that trigger. They'll go for the DK. A little more frontline, again, a little bit more armor bulk, if that makes any sense. You guys know what I mean when I say armor bulk? It's like a really high armor hero that's tanky. Not like a hero that's got a lot of health and is tanky. Like, Tidehunter isn't armor bulk.
10 seconds remaining.
Right? Like, Tiny isn't armor bulk. Those are different kinds.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
DK is like the definition of armor bulk. Yes, I'm trying to coin phrases right now. What's it to you? A little bit extra stun. More importantly, a little bit extra front line for the Pugna, with lane matchups that are almost universally good. Lone Druid will be the pick for Infamous, and that will be a lot of push power. Now, this scaling from Infamous also isn't terrible. We have seen some kind of sketchy plays from Skullfield's Sand King, but I believe that Infamous do have the power necessary to win in the very early phases of this game. I mean, looking at their lanes, like, you got Beastmaster in a lane, Death Prophet in a lane, Lone Druid in a lane. These heroes don't really need a lot of help, but they're going to get a lot of help anyway because Chen and Sand King are just that active early on. And SG Esports, they know exactly what's coming to them. They're going to have to fight early. If they get kind of on the receiving end of one too many rotations from a Chen, from a Sand King, then game could be over really, really quickly. But I don't know. This one seems like a little bit of a toss-up. It's going to come down to these lanes. It's going to come down to what the Chen and Sand King can do, I think. And whether or not Bardinho, the Witch Doctor, or Theo on the Elder Titan can kind of read those movements in Infamous and kind of anticipate them and answer them before they really come in. It's not easy to do, but yeah, this one it's going to be a fast game. Or it should be a fast game for Infamous if they have their way. You know, even if they kind of stall out a little bit, the late game of Infamous isn't that bad. The Beastmaster is really powerful as an initiator, as is Sand King. Chen kind of falls off here, but DP and Lone Druid, assuming they're getting at all a reasonable amount of gold, then yeah, they can still be very competitive as you push later into the game. But I'm not pretty sure they're not going to try to aim for that. So let's see. Will the aggro draft crack the defensive draft? SG Esports, did they lose any games going into here? Mad Kings, T-Show, they 2-0'd. It was just like a 4-team double bracket, so it's not really like they played a ton of games or anything like that, but SG Sports so far looking really good. Anyway, also worth noting that they did pick up a Visage yesterday. So, not here obviously, but you know, maybe we'll see a Visage in a little bit. Game 2, maybe Game 3. If there is a Game 4 or 5. But just looking at how these lanes are going to break down right now. Lone Druid in the safe lane. Stinger in the off lane. Pepita in mid. Pretty standard stuff from the Infamous side. At least exactly what you would expect. Pugna is going to be matching up against that DP. The Razor matching up against the Lone Druid. And the DK going up against that Beastmaster. Honestly, Razor in any given lane, DK in any given lane should be well enough for SG. Like, you get slightly more powerful, slightly less powerful, but overall, there are no really bad lanes for the SG cores. No matter where they go, they should be doing okay. But the Razor going up against that Lone Druid is really looking to mess with the CS as much as possible. It's really hard to prevent yourself from giving over damage as a Lone Druid, especially if there's also an Elder Titan here, which makes the Razor so much more deadly early on. Bounty Runes. Oh, that's a 3-1 split. GG. Time to pack it up, boys. Game 2, SG win. But yeah, looking at this mid lane, first of all, Pepita did have a lot of difficulty on his Viper in the last game, in the early stages. ADR has been traditionally just crushing any given mid lane. Like, absolutely disgustingly so. So, Pugna versus Death Prophet isn't hugely slanted either way, I don't think. But it is going to come down to these rotations. I would assume just hits will be traded back and forth. CS should be remaining fairly even. Top lane, Chen has, I assume, sent all the creeps back, or at least as many as he can get his hands on. Yeah, it looks like that did in fact happen. That's pretty standard Chen stuff. But we can see minus 49 right now on the Bear. The Bear is kind of quick, but up against a Razor, you really need to be very cautious about where you put your Bear. It's not like you need the damage on the Bear, you're just giving free damage over to the Razor. Like, 46 base damage sucks. Like, that's terrible. But plus 40, and then you're working with some gas, so... And, of course, then you have an irrelevant bear, and you only have 44 damage yourself. Very easy for a Razor to steal damage out from a Lone Druid. If you get Boots and Rabid, then it's a lot more difficult. But Savage Roar up against a Razor is generally not a great tool, as far as keeping the damage out of the clutches of the Razor, at least. Later on, it's pretty darn good. I think to the surprise of no one, the opening is going to be relatively even. We'll see what this Chen can get done, though. This is going to be the probably best chance at Infamous to come away from these lanes with an advantage. You get a couple kills of the Chen through this. Maybe getting a kill on the Witch Doctor, and man, you can just straight win the game off of that. They are going to cask and keep the Satyr Tormentor stunned. Bardinho looking for the deny. Centaurs is going to help him out. Getting that neutral creep deny. It's like the third deny we've seen today. It's kind of stupid how many times it's happened. So far, no blood is spilled, except for right now, as Schofield is going to be taken for a walk by this Razor. Pinged a little bit by that unstable current, the damage being drained. The well played is already called. Centaurs again! They got him! Dude, these Centaurs are not biased at all. They will kill whoever gets near them. 2 heroes dead, 0 first bloods. Just SA things, you know? Standard stuff. Standard plays all around. Show me a third deny. Show me another one. Oh, here we go. Chen's got an army of mud golems here. I guess shard golems. I think the boulder toss is the same. Yeah, it's still 125 damage. Yeah, so if you... He's only got one Holy Persuasion, right? So if he dominates another creep, he can get 4 boulders out. Unfortunately, the smoke breaks at an inconvenient time. You get actually 5 boulders out. Because you boulder, 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 split the big golem, and then boulder, boulder. That's so much damage. Like, dag and eat your heart out. That is, I think, like, the most damage, burst damage that can be done at 3 minutes in the game. Like, possible. It's insane. Of course, it isn't going to always work, but you can see how many goons he's working with. He's going to take the Centaur that has more kills than anyone else in the game. Grab a couple of shard golems, and now look towards the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor, though, is going to see this one coming because his sentry dies, so he's literally just going to see it coming as well. They also found the DK. 1 stun, 2 stun. Oh, the Centaur Stomp misses. They will chuck the axes in, but this is 2 points in the Dragon Blood for the DK. And Wild Axes, physical damage. So DK is going to shrug that one off really easily. Bardinho is going to be caught kind of by this Chen, but this Shard Golem toss, I don't even know if he's going to get another one before these things time out. Penitence and right clicks, that's all he's got. Overall, taking stock, we have Dire Side with a little bit of a CS lead. Schofield should Burrow Strike down to the low ground. Plasma Field right on the edge. Does quite a bit of damage. But I don't know if they can actually chase down for this kill. Please show me a third neutral deny. I want to see it. He isn't even going to need to deny himself. He's just going to walk out of here. Dire do scan red, so they know exactly where he went, but they can't do anything about it. Dire are working with a slight CS lead. Not anything significant. They will go for Stinger on the top lane. Just a little bit of poking damage. Maledict is level 1. And that's just a level 1 Maledict, level 2 Breathe Fire. Not exactly impressive. Dude, neutrals have more kills in this game than anyone else. It's insane. It's like 0 to 0 to 2. But this is what we traditionally see from SG Esports. Like, they just typically just get laning leads. Just mechanically, they're solid as hell. And they're actually going to force Kataro out of that lane. This is getting an okay amount of CS, but again, losing your bear, maybe not like losing it to death, but losing the bear as an effective tool, so crippling for a lone druid. Like, you need that bear there to get that CS and constantly push those waves. Bear will still lose a little bit of damage here as the Breathe Fire is active, and so they will wrap around, grab a catapult. Maybe look to push this. They have a Centaur, they have a catapult, they have a lone druid bear, and only a DK to hold the fort. It is level 5. There's only level 1 cast, though, as Witch Doctor's only level 2, so this could be a very dangerous push in. SG Esports TP check. They got him, man. They have TPs and then some, so very aggressive move for Infamous, but I like it. SG Esports, they teleport in their Razor when they see this one coming. That could be a very quick end to this play from Infamous, but they're going to go in pretty deep. Schofield has found the Witch Doctor, and the Maledict will be juked out. Razor is going to TP in, and they've also brought in the ET. They do get a lucky entangle there, and that'll keep him kind of useless in this fight. In fact, Razor did, in fact, cancel his TP, which is something that Infamous do know about. It's a 3v3 on this top lane, but they know that the Razor cannot come in any longer. And they didn't actually commit anything to it, so they could just stick around up here and then just go for that same exact play in a little bit. Suck on suck, Siphons versus life drains. You know, Terrorblade also used to have a life drain. It was just the same exact thing as Pugna's, except worse. And it was terrible, but I loved it. Dude, that was such a fun spell to use. To be like, I'm just gonna sit here and life drain you. But yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. You don't want to be doing that. You'd rather be creating illusions and killing things. That was when his entire kit was very different. Obviously, because he had life drain. Costa, level 2 in that Dragon Blood. Theo is here. Stomp set up. Does land onto 3. Costa is here with a little bit of follow-up. The Burrow Strike goes into Bardino in the backside. And this Witch Doctor is going to be first blood. Kataro grabs it. They will lose their Chen in exchange. Costa looking for a little bit more. Savage Roar has not been used just yet. Can hit onto 2 here. You know, Kataro's just booking it, actually. They do land a Burrow Strike onto the ET, but the damage from this DK is certainly adding up. They do finally use that Savage Roar. Stomp coming out from Theo. Does land onto 2. Costa is going to have enough mana to have another Breathe Fire as the Maledict lands onto 2. Kataro is doomed to fall here. Schofield running off to the side will run into a Pugna. That's not what he wants to see, as the mid laners have joined the fight all of a sudden, but Death Prophet arrives a little bit too late. That's going to cost SG Esports first blood. They also lose their secondary support. But they keep Costa alive. They get 3 kills on this top lane, including a lone Druid, and put a little bit of poison damage into this tier 1 tower. Pugna, not a lot of mana sustain on this here, although he will back up, grab the Arcane Boots, get a little bit more. Sweet for the DK as well. I don't know if they can take down this tower right now, but for sure it's going to take a lot of damage at the very least. In the meantime, we got Beastmaster, level 7, with the Roar available, looking for Leposa. Can't quite get it out, though. Well played is called, indeed. Looks like the tower will be falling on this top side. Leposa still farming. Mid lane being occupied by Theo, getting some very valuable experience for the ET, and it will be SG to claim a nice little win off of that exchange. Tower down, and Infamous are they're the group that's supposed to be pushing. Obviously not going to happen just yet, not to a significant degree, as they've lost the first tower. Can still look for these plays, and in fact they're going to get going over in mid. Exorcism already committed. Creep wave, though, is being very quickly cleaned up. They do roar the Pugna, but the backup is here from the ET, including the double TPs, as now the Beastmaster is in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get hit with the Dragon Tail, still in tower range as well. Breathe Fire going to kill him off. The Stomp does land onto the Death Prophet. I don't think they have any more stuns. Pita's going to turn around with the Siphon. Chase back Costa, but going into Cass, going into the Elder Titan, and going into those blasts, that is a lot of shit you got to run through. Exorcism number 1 used, doesn't even get a tower. Doesn't even force Razor's rotation. The fact that Razor is still able to stay on this bottom lane and just keep on farming is a pretty big deal. The hero definitely needs just a handful of items to get started in the early game, and then he's an absolute powerhouse. If you don't get those early items, if you're delayed for whatever reason, you're fighting too much and you're failing, then your game as Razor is kind of just completely screwed up. But get a Drums, get a Sanj, or get a probably a Yasha, or just a full S&Y, and then you have a lot of power moving forward. Kataro is not going to see this one coming. Witch Doctor out of nowhere with the cast and the Stomp. This lone Druid. Centaurs? I guess 3 times would have been a little bit too ambitious, right? That would have been great. Oh, man. I mean, that would have been so terrible for SG Esports and so great for Infamous. But I would have loved to see it. No bias here. No bias. I'm just rooting for... I'm not rooting for the Radiant or the Die. I'm rooting for the neutrals. I don't think any casters represent the neutrals enough. I will be the first neutral biased caster, which is normally an oxymoron, but nope, that's me right here. If you want someone rooting for the jungle creeps, I got you covered, fam. Exorcism not up yet. They do have level 3 in the Beastmaster's Inner Beast Aura and 2 Siege Creeps. Dude, these freaking dire turncoats. So much siege damage. And over in the meantime, SK, Breathe Fire, and one more right click. Good job, ADR. You earned that kill. Yeah, they will kill off an SK. They will push down this bottom lane tower as well, but I don't think they could out-push this top push from the Radiant. Like, you'd think Pugna and DK will be able to push very well, but no, there's no contest here. The Beastmaster push is unparalleled. Numerically so far, it is going to be, right now, benefiting SG. Cask is going to be thrown out. Does bounce to Stinger, and then to, what? How did that, what? What the hell was that Cask? Oh my god. I mean, it didn't really, like, bounce back obnoxiously or anything like that, but that was the most insane Cask I've ever seen. There were, like, 6 creeps there, and it's just like, no, I'm just going to go over here. I'm just going to go over here and stun all these heroes. Dude, freaking Bardinho is... Yeah, he's a sniper, man. He's his actual sniper. I have no idea. I mean, they only needed that one singular stun to kill off that Beastmaster. But they do stop that push. The Chen, I think, yanks in all the catapults, or at least looks like most of the catapults back. But, yeah, the tower exchange ultimately does go in favor of SG Esports. 3K now in the lead. Drums. Looks like he will go Sanj first over Yasha. Interesting. There's always that decision to be made. Do you go Sanj for survivability? Or do you go Yasha to kill things? I guess he figures, hey, I have Drum already. I don't need even more movement speed, so let's get the health. He's probably just going to get both anyway, so... before they really get going, SG Esports trying to play their draft aggressively. Looking at it right now, they have a DK who's got an armlet. The Pugna has an Ether Lens. And another 13 hundo in the bank. That's not bad at all. Costa's going to run into Stinger right now. Roar goes off onto the Witch Doctor. Burrow Strike to follow up. Is going to be there, but the Witch Doctor, oh, does die before he can cast out. And now Costa, Epicenter is canceled. A little bit of a mistake there from Schofield. And Costa with the armlet is not someone you should be trifling with. He is going to be slowed down a little bit by this boar. That does not look like a boar at all. But here comes this drain in from Pepita. They will kill off that DK. Persistence slows only a little bit thanks to this boar. Over in the mid lane, the Chen is pushing. Again, that's the power of the Chen. You don't really need anything huge to suddenly get a push out of nowhere. Stomp is going to be there, but it doesn't really do anything. Just like that, Infamous get about 2K off the lead of SG Esports, and still a little bit behind the net worth and the heroes that matter. But, I mean, this looks bad, but it's like, you know, the values aren't really that different. Once this Blink Dagger comes up in the DK, though, then SG Esports are looking really powerful. Like a Blink Dragon Tail straight on top of the Chen. If you can burst him down before he's really able to get that Hand of God out, or before a Roar can come out, then yeah, it's going to be really, really tough for Infamous to respond to that moving forward. They have a couple stuns. The Chen is a defensive hero that can save his allies, but no one can really save the Chen. This is not sneaky at all from Infamous, standing right on top of a Dire Obs. And it looks like SG Esports, they're going to try to play the bait. You can see Laposa, nothing going wrong here, just farming the lane. Oh, hi everybody, I have backup here. He's gonna take a lot of damage, but they do set up with the cask and a 3-man stomp. The suck goes off onto the Chen, and Laposa's still alive. They've taken down 2, they're on to Pepita now. The Nether Ward is constantly zapping him out with another blast. Will do a lot of damage with this. Drains are keeping him alive for right now. Once again, the Echo Stomp is out. Boulders are being tossed every which way. The Pugna with another blast. They will finally kill off Pepita and get 3 kills. They just got jebaited so hard. And now even the Lone Druid's Bear in a little bit of trouble. Dragon Tail right in the face. This is going to mean that they can't Dragon Tail the real Lone Druid, unfortunately. But hey, that's going to be 3 kills on this bottom lane. A textbook bait from Laposa. And an extra bear, which is 300 gold for someone. Someone killed it. I don't know who it was. DK or Razor. One of them. So, goddamn, that was some serious cash exchange for SG Esports. And that is the power of Dire Obs right there. Truly an MVP. I'll be rooting for the neutrals, guys, but I'll also be rooting for vision coverage. The unsung hero in any Dota game. Theo is going to get caught with the penitence. Roar is available. Beastmaster I don't know if he can get close enough. Penitence should be wearing out soon. Roar. Oh, he's not fast enough. The Tranquils kick in with that movement speed. 405. The ET is going to get even more from the Spirit. 457. And he's zipping away. So for Infamous, this seems to be the extent of their aggressive power. I mentioned earlier, the game plan, or at least the flow of game that you would expect, is Infamous walk in, take a handful of towers very easily, but then when it actually comes down to real fights, things might get a little bit more sketchy for them. Performance-wise, we've just seen SG Esports be better in those engagements than Infamous, and also their draft kind of lends itself to that type of style. And then the Blink Dagger is the item for Schofield that is going to kind of break them out of this. Get their momentum back, get them out of this funk. Blink Dagger on DP, that's an interesting one. Blink Dagger first over Yules? I love me some Blink Dagger on DP. Just being able to get in the middle with the Exorcism is so good. But as a first item, above Yules, up against a Pugna, that's really aggressive. Tower walk in, claim it, Kataro. Gonna go for the Lone Druid build. Get that sniper style in the back. If DK's got his Blink Dagger soon, then he can put a pretty fast counter to that. But initiating on the Lone Druid is always really tough. Blink in, stun him. He'll just yank his bear back and then Savage Roar from the bear. Dude, Kataro's just hoo-hoo-ha-haing this tower up on top lane. Right now, SG Esports, I mean, they're winning these engagements, but definitely on the back foot lane pressure-wise, especially when Bardinho... Ooh, Decrepify, gonna keep him alive for a little while longer. Not for anything, but he's just dead now. But yeah, like, Infamous, the fact that they can just go in and push your towers, push high ground just by a single hero basis, means that SG are really gonna struggle to be proactive in this game. Blink Dagger on DK, that's the item they need to start being proactive, and it is up now. Let's see what they can get done with this. No push on this bottom lane tower, curiously enough. Still pretty healthy, actually. But overall, this game still... I think it's going to come down to who makes the first mistake. It is going to be a little bit more difficult for Infamous to make that mistake, simply because they have all these units they can throw into Scout. Bear, the Hawks, Chen's creeps. Sanking as a Blink Dagger, so you can have him scout around and still be okay in doing so. SG are just naturally going to be working with, or they're going to tend to work with less vision. Their vision coverage right now is just this Observer Ward. I guess they have one in here as well. They are not really working with a lot of intel. Despite that, they're going to smoke up as 4. Thinking about maybe checking out Roche. No, just going to go straight up towards Kataro's lane. Lone Druid not going to retreat into the jungle. You would assume bears would go into the jungle, but Smoke's going to break onto Smokes right now as Beastmaster is going to hit with the Dragon Tail first thing. If they can take out the Primal Roar, that will be huge. Cask and the Earth Splitter. No, it's not going to be thrown out just yet. They hesitated. The Death Ward is there. Stinger's still going to fall, but he gets the off onto the Razor. Can they bring this Razor down? That will be even bigger. He's going to get force-staffed out. He's going to survive for a little while longer. Costa's in the middle of the fight, but up against this Exorcism does not want to be here. Beat is taking about no damage, but the Stomps lands onto 3, keeping them safe and allowing them to back off. And it looks like that will be a clean retreat there from SG after having taken 2 kills. Razor's really banged up, as is the DK, but that's what happens when you have this armor bulk hero. You just get him in there and he just refuses to die. They do lose their courier because it was there for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But Razor tanks up about as much as he can comfortably. DK then does the same. And that was even with a hesitant Earth Splitter, which otherwise would have just been absolutely devastating. So Theo, you know, definitely playing a little bit cautiously there. SG Sports still take a nice little win, and maybe looking for more. I don't know if they can find any more. I mean, the kills that they get, they're nice and everything, but the real value from that win comes from the fact that they're able to pull out the Exorcism from the Death Prophet and take no casualties. So they just like win straight up around along the board, across the board. If you speak English, that's what the phrase is. Beastmaster, Roar, finally ditched out, but DK is here. In fact, everyone's here. You're in the wrong neighborhood, bro. He's dead to the Maledict. Cool guys don't look at explosions. DK Blink Dagger, it's a thing. Killing off the Beastmaster twice now. Feels pretty good if you're a DK. Or if you're an SG Esports fan, I guess. Tower's gonna be brought down on top. It's a tier 2. SG Esports will get their 3k lead back. Still, this lead isn't really anything that they could sit back on. You can see Kataro's farming like an absolute madman. MKB is his next item. Interesting. There is no miss or evasion coming out from anyone in SG Esports. Nothing in the items? No. That's really odd to see him go for this. Maybe he's just using this to queue up a Hyperstone, and then he's going to get the Mjolnir, and then he's going to get MKB. I would say that's probably a little more likely. Oh, they found Schofield. They got him. They got him. But Kataro is absolutely dishing. Problem is that he's also very, very soft. So if he ever gets his position compromised, then he's just dead. I mean, MKB, he still does that, what is it called? Pierce. Oh, look at that patch. 7.1. Added a sound effect. 7.1. Nothing. Literally unplayable. Valve, please fix. Got Costa. Invised up. The Radiant scan is going to go red. They don't necessarily know that there's an invisible DK in the area, though, so they may still feel comfortable enough to push in. In fact, Kataro is doing just that. Surprise, mother... No? He doesn't have enough backup in the area, it seems. Oh, that was awkward. He does land the Dragon Tail, but now the Lone Druid's in the melee form. Not really sure if they could do anything off of this right now. Penitence is on the Razor, and with the Siphons, Razor's in a lot of trouble. Earth Splitter's going to be deployed. It's just Pita pushing them, and it is going to be enough to get one kill at least. Costa, Burrow Strike available, and will get them a second. SG Esports, they had 2 heroes in the bottom lane in the meantime, taking down a tower, so it's not for nothing, but in the meantime, with the rest of this exorcism, Pita is going to get to work on Roche. Kataro, again, you get a lot of attack speed from this item as well as from Rabid. So you get a lot of procs from Pierce, whatever it's called. Penitent's going to make this really fast along with that medallion. Spirit from the ET comes in a little bit too late. Kataro now with a double life. Now that is so costly for SG Sports. That lead is just gone. Any gold lead is not really going to be persistent in this game, I don't think. It's so very easy for leads to turn around. Although I do like where Infamous are in their current gameplay state. So much power, so much gank power. Although Schofield is going to be maybe picked off here. You got Dust Cask perfectly. Oh. Or not. That happened. Maybe they're still baiting. He's still hit with the magic weakness. Here comes the Maledict. Wow. Wow. Wow, he landed the Burrow Strike and now he's dead. Wow. That was not according to plan. That was not how that was supposed to go. So, you know, Witch Doctor dies, but who cares? It's a Witch Doctor. It does feel like SG Esports, they should be able to, in theory, kill off Pita a little bit faster than he is dying. And that's so far just not happening. Razor's Plate Mail, he was going for Shiva's, but looks like he's going to deviate away into a Force Staff. Plate Mail is very useful in this game for sure, but Razor, DK, these heroes will in general struggle to remain competitive in the farm department. Right now, not doing a terrible job, but I don't expect that to stay the case. Unless they keep getting more and more kills. They're starting to spec out this DK into a very aggressive early game phase, even more aggressive than just an Armlet. Going for Armlet Blink into an S and Y instead of something like an AC means that they want to fight as much as they can. Dire Obs does see Schofield. DK, where did he go? DK is just, oh, he's on top of L-Tine, that's why I didn't see him. Schofield's in a little bit of trouble here, though. Gonna try to TP out, they see him, the stomp should be in time, they got him. They drain him, they get him. The top lane is being pushed, though. Even though SG, they would love to push this. They do actually get a buyback out, that's not bad. They can't really afford to do so because they will lose their top lane. I think that buyback on Sand King was really premature. He didn't really, I don't think he knew that top lane was being pushed that aggressively.
under attack.
So Sand King kind of throws some gold away. But it's not like he needs a Blink Dagger still. He already has that, so it's not the end of the world for him. But you can see how difficult it is for SG Esports to actually do what they want to do. It's like, we want to kill things, and then we want to push with Elder Dragon form. That's perfectly reasonable, but you can't do that, because you're going to have to teleport someone back to defend. And DK can't kill off like a pushing Lone Druid. I don't even know if he can kill off just a pushing Chen. I mean, Chen's pretty bulky at this stage. 1200 HP, level 2 Hand of God. A lot of armor, which is not going to be put onto anyone, so he'll have the +7. Like, Razor can't initiate fast enough to get those kills either, at least not convincingly enough. Gardino is going to be picked off again, same exact place. Now we're going to find a Spirit Bear, but can't quite get him. Infamous are just running circles around SG Esports right now. Everyone's just racing to deal with these creep waves, and ultimately it is going to be Infamous to call the shots. Man, if they just stay in this game state for 15 minutes, I don't want to see it because like it's just farming and that's boring. But if they do, and if they are able to like maintain this game state, then Infamous are just gonna get so far ahead. Of course, they don't really want to do that. They have an Aegis, so they might as well push with it. Also have that level 3 Exorcism, so if you're not pushing with that, you're probably doing something wrong. Tower is gonna be very easily claimed. You can see like if SG went for this play, they would be like split pushed all the way back to their base, but there is very, very marginal amounts of split push here from SG. Costa is going to get to work on the tower. Blink forward, trying to kill off Chen's army. Got 2 of them. It's not bad, but the push pales in comparison, to say the least. These tier 2s going to be cleaned up mighty quick. Tier 2 in the mid lane, not even going to go down. Easy towers. He got it with the boar. What a lucker. He was, yeah, he was nowhere near that push. Well, this is still a dead even game. Because there have been really no fights, substantial fights, where it's like, oh, you know, this side has this lead because of that fight. No, it's just all creep equilibrium. It's all farming. It's all efficiency, and it's all timings. What? Dude? Okay. Going for crit. This Lone Druid's going to be absolutely dishing. Savage Roar. Very important tool for him to have in his back pocket. We do have pretty powerful items coming out from SG as well. Shiva's Guard is going to be going... Leposa is going to be going for that after this Force Staff. Not at it just yet. Pugna does have the Ags, but as great as that is, Infamous will have so many ways of just messing with that Pugna. Is there a Vessel? There is. So life drain healing wise, not all that great. Smoke up will be broken by Stinger on the low ground. Kataro is in the trees. Plasma field. Oh, they don't even need plasma field. They're just gonna walk right in. Yeah, nice damage items, bro. You're dead. Even if any hero would have died there, but still. That's an Aghanim Scepter on Chen as well. If he can find some time to actually get to the Ancients, that'll be huge, but they've taken down the Lone Druid already. And now SG gonna confidently push up the high ground. This time split push is still there from Stinger. Like, he's doing what he can as the Beastmaster. But it's not quite going to be enough to scare SG off of this until the Lone Druid is close to respawning or buys back. They want to take this advantage right now, and they really should be looking for this. Tier 3 is in trouble in mid lane at this point, but the Tier 3 is already down. As Costa's going to jump in, immediately the stun onto the Death Prophet. BKB's up on Pepita, but he's instead going to be sent back home. The Beastmaster is going to be rejoining the fight. Roar goes off onto Theo. Not really any follow-up to that, though. The Lone Druid has already committed that buyback, so they're just going to try to retreat. Pepita's in the middle of the fight. How did he get here? Siphons onto 3, and is going to chase down ADR with the Eul Scepter onto Costa. He is not going to escape this. This DK is as good as dead, but everyone else... Well, maybe he will, actually. He's getting a little bit of help as the Death Ward is going to be dropped into the Chen. With the Maledict, they will kill off the Chen with the Witch Doctor. Burrow Strike also finds the DK. Armlet toggling. Oh, no. Kataro's here. You can't escape that, or can you? No, you can't. ADR, in the meantime, still being chased down by Pepita. Trying to Force Staff out, trying to blink, but Schofield's here to intercept, and they'll get the Pugna as well. The DK has a buyback. The Pugna does not, however. They take a tier 3, but at a steep, steep cost. Infamous's draft is really, really showing off how fast it can pressure these lanes. And just like that, a little bit of a fight win for them. Does cost them a buyback on the Lone Druid, and that is expensive for sure, but they don't really need a lot of heroes to push down a lane. Stinger can do it by himself. Pepita is here, doesn't really have much power to lend to this push. Lone Druid, where is he? He's on top lane, so they're looking for 2 lanes simultaneously. Now, the bear is pretty weak in this push. He does get the battle cry, so 130 damage is not anything to sneeze at. But is going to lose a lot of it to the Link. Whenever he hits the tower, he heals it. The tower will be brought down. Even towers, even lanes. That's about all Infamous can get before the Pugna and DK return. So we got ourselves an even match. Like 3k lead. It seems like hasn't been able to get past that 3k mark. Yeah. EXP looking in favor of Infamous, but so those talents really start cashing in. Well, 40 attack speed on the Rabbit is substantial for Taro. Let's see, what are the 20s we have? Beastmaster. It's good, but it's not game breaking. DP is kind of the same thing. Really solid talent, but it's not like, yeah, it's not going to instant win you any games.
Dire are scanning.
Infamous are definitely playing a lot slower in this series than we saw them play earlier up against T-Show. Not like in the pace of game, but like more in the... Their actions are a lot more deliberate in this game, it looks like. They're making more calculated plays instead of YOLOing in, which is definitely good. It is definitely a good style. It suits them. Sometimes you just gotta YOLO in, though. That'll be probably after this Roche is picked up by whoever. It's gonna be really hard for SG to get in that Roche pit. And the push style of Infamous is the same style that's good at killing off Roche. So they'll shove in all the waves. They can do so a lot faster than SG. Probably go straight towards Roshan as soon as they see it, and they will see it as soon as it respawns. Just a couple of seconds. Lone Druid's bear is going to be spotted here, but they have their eyes set on some bigger targets. No, they have their eyes set on even bigger targets than the Lone Druid. He's going to be cleaned up immediately. And they are going to see a Centaur leave the Roche pit. Still top lane is being pushed. They have stolen 87 damage on the Razor, but SG Esports, they don't Roche very well. ADR is going to clean this up. Does have travels in 10. Tier 2 now in a little bit of trouble. Wild Axes, did that even hit? It looks like it did. With all this armor, plus 43, it pretty much didn't. Easy tier 2. Top lane still being pushed. SG going in, but they do lose their creep wave. Backdoor protection still turned off. Tower, going to start taking some chip damage here from Costa, but top lane in the meantime, they get the silence onto the Pugna. 4 staff still being held right now. He's going to finally use it to break the link. And here comes some help, but the BKB goes up with Pepita. Now he's going to chase down for ADR. Another Burrow Strike, another death on this Pugna. Looking for 2, actually. No, he's not dead yet. Life Drain's still there, but he gets silenced again. No BKB on this Pugna. That means the Swarm is going to do him in. Bardino's still alive right now, but the Ghosts are following, and they will eventually kill him off. Everyone else's TP's back. Looks like they were actually canceled by something. A fight, I suppose. Costa's going to make his way back, kill off the Sand King. They're unable to get on top of the DP. In the meantime, the Ancients from the Chen, they're trying to kill off this melee Rax with the Shiva's Guard aura. Freezing aura, minus 45 attack speed. Just plummeting their attack speed to 0, plummeting their DPS to 0. Is going to be a handful of heroes traded going either way. But ultimately, structurally, nothing is killed off on SG's side of the map that can't be healed back. Healable damage, I believe, is the proper term. And SG Sports get a tier 2 tower, but that's about it. Off of the pick off of a Lone Druid, you kind of are hoping for a little bit more. This Pugna gonna go for a Lotus, try to get some extra bulk. More importantly, though, gonna try to get a self-purge of that silence from that DP, which is absolutely backbreaking when you're talking about Aghanim Scepter life drain. Like, if you're silenced, your Pugna's probably not doing that much. Into the Roche pit this time. DP is going to get some much needed armor. Plus 15, not bad at all. What is Lone Druid's armor? 16. It's only +2 though, so if the ET is there with the aura, then he's going to be taking a lot of physical damage. So from this Razor, Arctic Aura is out. They are going to Plasma Field, see Kataro, but they'll just look for his bear instead. And that bear, it doesn't have a resummon. His bear is just dead for 50. So Infamous, I mean, his bear isn't really super important. It's this hero that's important. It's like, is this Lone Druid or Sniper? You don't really know. So it's not really the end of the world there, but it means he's a little bit easier to initiate on. Because usually if you get initiated upon, you yank your bear back and then you Savage Roar. You can't do that if you don't have a bear. I know, I'm dropping some really serious knowledge bombs on you guys, but I think you can handle it.
Radiant are scanning.
Smoke up. They will break their smoke on Chen, maybe? Nope. Stinger's like, yo, guys, you keep doing whatever the hell you're doing. So I'm pushing and shredding waves down here. And into the tier 3. Grabs the Satyr Tormentor as well from that random pull. They are going to find Kataro, though. Oh, this is a little bit problematic for the Lone Druid. He's going to have to try to find a hidey hole and TP out, but Death Ward and Maledict, no, he's dead. They're actually going to rotate Stinger in. Kataro is still going to die here. Hand of God is out. Kataro with Maledict is not doing quite as much damage as I thought, but now Stinger's in a little bit of trouble. Throws out some Wild Axes, will do about no damage. Just cancel the TP of the Pugna, so that's on cooldown right now, but here comes Pepita. He's going to jump in right with Shiva's guard. BKB is there as well. Aposta, I don't know why he's not turning around and right-clicking. He's just going to go down anyway. And off to the side, DK. Teleporting into the trees. Or blinking into the trees, teleporting out. Pepita has a godlike spree on this DP. Structural damage, again, pretty substantial. On this bottom lane, Beastmaster does go down. But, these buildings are being chipped out on SG Esports space. They need to get picks a lot more frequently than they are right now. He took the extra armor. Keep that in mind. Gold per minute would have given him some serious value, but having additional armor off of Dragon's Blood, obviously up against Lone Druid, that's incredible. Beastmaster, very physical-based hero. Death Prophet as well. Mostly physical-based, I want to say. Maybe half with Exorcism. That's just bulk for Costa. AC on top of that. 14 plus 44. Seems balanced. Seems good. But this game is so incredibly even. If SG Esports are able to find a big fight, that's kind of what they want. But Infamous are just not really giving them that chance. Every single fight has been just like small skirmishing around the map. And then Pepita comes in and cleans up everyone.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
I think Infamous, they're not really looking for a fight ever. They have Travel, Shadowblade on the Beastmaster. His split push is going to be insane. And as he's picking up these items, SG Sports may be like, oh, you know, Beastmaster's pushing, send down one guy to deal with him. At a certain point, that one guy is just going to get killed by Beastmaster. Just roar him and start right-clicking him. Like, that can very easily happen, especially once you get to level 25 and you pick up that extra attack speed talent. Get any sort of damage item. Hell, even if you don't get damage items, like 160 a pop with this much attack speed is pretty dirty. Plus minus armor, plus Spirit Vessel, plus the extra bonus damage from Shadowblade, plus your creeps. Like, you're looking at close to solo kill territory on a good majority of the SG heroes. So we see SG kind of grouped up, wandering around as 5. And Infamous kind of doing whatever the hell they want. Looks like this time it's just going to be try to bait someone into a little bit of a creep defense. Burrow Strike is in. Razor does not have a BKB. Not like it would help him up against that roar. Penitence on him as well. Gets healed a lot by the Pugna. Even through that vessel, he's going to get some decent health back. Costa's going to push forward. Lands a Dragon Tail onto the Chen. The damage on the DK, though, is huge. Oh my god. They are able to save Laposa with that life drain heal. Try to get back and defend the other lanes from being split pushed. Schofield, Cask is out. Will still connect. Maledict is going to land as well. Spirit Vessel, going to glimmer into the trees and TP out. And he's free and clear, man. He's good to go. In the meantime, though, his allies, they're going to blink out of the Roche Pit. Costa is surrounded. Where's the help? DK went in by himself. Decrepify's going to go out, protect him against those ghosts, but the Siphon's still doing a lot of damage here, and the Roche is being cleared out in the meantime. Costa is going to survive with the Force Staff out in the Stomp. He gets out of there a little more distance. Now the post is going to leash out Pepita. The Siphons are still there. Needs to steal a little bit extra damage. He's not doing any damage, though. Pepita refusing to go down. He's actually taking no damage. The Bear's in the front line as well. Gotta fear that Savage Roar, though. Does get taken out by Theo. Pepita's BKB now going to be used. As ADR looking for some heals onto his allies on the sidelines. The DK has been forced to full retreat. The post is going to push forward. They are going to look for Schofield, but they can't touch him with the Spirit before he blinks out. God damn, guys. This is just game 1 in the best of 5. We're in for a real Dota game here. We're in for a real match. I'm very glad I got something to eat beforehand. Otherwise, I'd be, like, dead right now. But SG Esports find themselves being split pushed once again. Shen gonna send this creep back. Lucky guy gets to live. They tried to group up and push, but again, they just can't do it. Beastmaster will TP out. He'll be just fine. This is so frustrating to play against as SG Esports. Like, what can they actually do? They just have to find a more convincing fight. That's all it is. Like, they just have to reach critical mass and just take a cataclysmic fight. I'm not really sure how it's... Oh, this is how it's going to happen. The sheep stick on the ET. That's how you do it, man. But, like, net worth, experience, let's be honest, doesn't really matter. What does matter is that there's an Aegis on the Lone Druid. She should be floating around as well. It's on the Lone Druid himself, actually. I think that's... That wasn't Roche 3, was it? Doesn't look like it. That was probably Roche 2. No refresher anywhere. The axes are out. Creep wave is dead, and the push is on once again. Massive push out of nowhere. Wolves, bears, the entire animal kingdom represented in this push. Infamous are nothing but equal. They're not racists here. It's good to know. It will lose the bear. Yeah, as far as the Lone Druid is concerned, doesn't really care about that. It is going to give 300 gold over to SG, whoever killed it off. That's not an irrelevant amount, but force everyone back. Immediately, Beastmaster goes down to the bottom lane, starts pushing that one out. Rinse, repeat forever. Like, there's no point where it's suddenly, like, not viable for Infamous to do this. Like, it just will never come to that. Especially if Stinger picks up, an upgrade to Medallion is pretty good, but I don't even know if he wants to go for that. Costa, forced after the high ground. Theo stomps, is going to isolate Schofield from the rest of his allies. Life Drain and the Death Ward. He is hit with the Maledict as well. This could hurt a lot, although he's going to get sent back to the base. He'll be just fine. Chen the medic.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
Crit is now up on DK. I mean, at least in this game, we get to see this very special thing that is a late game farmed DK. Whenever you hit late game as DK, usually you're like over here in the net worth chart, not on top. But if you're a DK and you're farmed in the late game, it feels so powerful. Like, you are just insanely broken at that stage. Because you have, like, infinite armor. He's going to go for infinite health because he has that talent. Oh, Leposa does not have infinite health. He's very tanky because of that heart. Force Staff out. Earth Splitter Stomp trying to give that Razor a little bit of extra cover. Pita's going to BKB and start charging in. Theo is going to get left behind. Poor guy. Did what he can. Exorcism is out, though. The health aura from the Golem is still in the area as well. That's 15% HP on everything. And the push is on still with that Aegis, still with that cheese. DK does have an Elder Dragon form. Oh man, Lone Druid though takes an absolute beating. Burrow Strike does go through, but Costa standing still, just right-clicking down onto Pepita, but the Shiva's Guard and the Siphons. Pepita is not losing any HP. They do break the DK. That's going to cost him a lot of armor. ADR trying to play medic once again in the tier 3 high ground. The Exorcism has run its course, and because of that, SG are going to look to push out and try to find whoever they can. A Blind Blink could get a Chen kill. He's going to go looking for DP, though. Not quite fast enough to get that. And ultimately, the tower takes a little bit more damage. But structurally, nothing serious happens. Alright, this is, I'm getting tired of this. Can we move this game along, guys? Could something happen like this? Killing off, DK? Good luck killing off DK, dude. They even got him with the Silver Edge break, and he's just, like, walking out of there like it's nothing. Oh, Schofield has a chance to 2-man Burrow Strike, does land it, and the Witch Doctor's in a little bit of trouble. Roar's gonna shove him down to the high ground. DK takes the Roar, but He's still in a pretty decent spot. Oh, never mind. Here comes the epicenter. Force staff out. Costa. Armlet toggling his way to freedom. Axes will land. Won't quite kill him. Now they're focusing onto Leposa. Here comes the siphon heal from the Pugna. And the stomp goes off onto no one. I can't believe no one died there from SG Esports. But my god, Kataro has a double damage rune. Did lose the Aegis. I believe it was just reclaimed. I don't think it was killed off of him. Infamous are calling all the shots, and SG Esports, they have this Daedalus on the DK, but they have to get the initiation off. They absolutely have to. BKB would be fairly useful as well, I want to say. Like, this doesn't pierce spell immunity, and this is what's giving DP, like, her insane survivability. She doesn't even have an Octarine. He's going for it next, but it's got a lot of armor, obviously. But the fact that she's, like, siphoning a Razor, so it's like... That's 4k HP, is 3.3 on the DK. What's the exact HP is? Yeah, 6.5. Draining 14 plus 5.5. Yeah, it's a lot of HP, percentage base. To the funnel they go. Costa's gonna find the DK in the backlines, but no BKB means he's immediately gonna get stunned out and hexed up. The lone druid still is okay because he has the cheese. Stinger's gonna get pushed out. They do death ward and do a lot of damage to Kataro, but he gets forced up to the high ground as Costa is isolated, trying to rush down that Chen, but he's not gonna have enough damage to do so. They've also lost the ET, and now ADR is in a lot of trouble. The life drain isn't gonna do much up against that vessel, and he is also in a lot of trouble here. Penitence to connect, broken as well. This might be the beginning of the end, as Infamous took one too many favorable fights for SG to comfortably deal with. DK. Again, if you have a BKB, you can go for that, but looking to blink and assassinate someone in the background and then you immediately get stunned, that's just not feasible. There is no exorcism up, but there is a lone druid up, and he's pissed. He's really fat as well. Razor has all this HP, but I don't really know if he has enough threat. Needs Sheepstick is going to help that a little bit. ADR is going to buy back, trying to hold the base. Yeah, that's just Battle Cry spell meaning. I'm like, did he pop BKB? Nope, he did not. He did not, guys. Don't panic, he didn't. Costa's going to be forced to buy back. And, well, we're in another waiting game for the next exorcism. A minute out. But SG Esports at this point are stuck in their base. They can no longer afford to shove these lanes out, at least like not far. The SK is getting such a free game because no one has BKB. My teacup is running dry. Feels bad, man. Once again, on the hunt, though. Pita, grabbing doubled runes. Invis and Arcane, not bad. Invisibility up on the Beastmaster. Going for a Dagon next. Screw right-click, man. You have all this attack speed, just zap him. You know, I did not expect this game to be going on this long. I really didn't. It's like you get a push draft like this, and then your game just kind of takes forever. Normally you would expect this to not be going Infamous's way, but just look at that farm discrepancy. Lone Druid is quite the real hero. His bear might start getting a couple of items now. Never mind. Bear net worth. Feels bad, man. Yeah, what is he working towards? What is this? It's got a BKB. So he's got Battle Cry, Magic Community, and Avatar Magic Community. Nice. I don't know if they have enough damage to kill off this Death Prophet. She is bulky as hell. Razor doesn't have a lot of burst damage also, like inherently. Oh, they jump in. Get the roar into the ET. Burrow Strike onto 2. ET forced after the high ground, a possibility, and we'll get him to safety. They are going to Decrepify, Force Staff out the Razor. Everyone is fine. No casualties. Fun and interactive Dota, but Casa does pop the Dragon form. Make sure not to get debated by the bear. Oh my god, that bear is dead. Maybe it's not even worth putting cold farm on that bear. Like, it's just not going to do anything, man. Maybe just have him like hold auras and a ghost scepter and just kind of walk around and be annoying. If you can get a radiance on that bear, just for a little bit of mischance, that can go a long way. By the way, Chen is like so sad right now. He's like, God damn it, guys, I'm Chen. It's 15 minutes in the game. What the hell do you want me to do? Well, I get gold per minute. I'll buy some useful items. But Chen really, it's not your game anymore, Chen. Your time has come and gone. BKBs. Ooh. Get that Eon disc. I haven't really seen disc on anyone but Brewmaster. On Pugna, yeah, I mean, you get rid of a vessel. It does like that. Let's actually pull it up. So we can read exactly what... That's not how you spell Eon disc. You get the hard debuff. Applies a strong dispel, actually. That's the proper term. Strong dispel. So you get rid of that spirit vessel. You actually can life drain. You gain life. You just don't do any damage, though. It's really costly. By the way, there's now a Refresher Shard, Aegis, and Cheese in favor of Infamous. Where is the cheese?
I'll take that.
Am I crazy? Is there... Oh, there's the cheese. I am crazy. Well, there is a Refresher Shard and Aegis on Infamous. No cheese. And they're going to look to push in with it. Now, unfortunately, Death Prophet with Refresher Shard does not mean double spirits, but she does have an Arcane Rune. So she's going to be more than happy to use it just to see what damage she can do. In the meantime, they're going to group up towards top lane, try to rat that one out a little bit as well. Taro, Battlecry, Magic Community, going to get him out to safety there as the range racks on top will be chipped at a little bit. So you use this Exorcism, you refresh, use another Exorcism, Pizza. BKB is up, Force Staff out. Is that the Razor? Yeah, it is. So far he's stolen absolutely no damage. Costa's going to thin out the creep wave up towards top lane. They do get a good angle onto the Death Prop, but they can't kill her. Now towards top lane, the DK is able to retreat to safety. Spirit Vessel, though, cutting that heal to pretty much nothing. Dragon Tail's dodged thanks to the invis. There's no true sight here still. And now the Razor's in a little bit of trouble. He does get Force Staffed out. Here comes the Epicenter. Bro Strike in. Razor Force Staffed out again. Force Staffed out again, but it's not enough. He finally does go down, but now they've really committed far in to the SG bases. Razor is going to return with a buyback. Looking for Kataro. The Magic Community is going to hold for right now, but they're looking onto the Death Prophet as well. She's going to get drained out. Kataro as well. Right click to death. Chen is next. This is going to cost them a Razor buyback, but I don't see the Lone Druid getting out of this. Where's the Dragon Tail? There is no mana for Dragon Tail. Shouldn't matter. He's still dead. That's 100 seconds, no buyback. Actually, no, he should have buyback soon enough. But SG Esports hold and Infamous push a little bit too far. Fighting around here, that's fine, right? This is happy pushing, because you could just kill off the racks. Easy. Fighting over here means that you're consistently under this true sight radius of the tower. And we can see how much this invisibility is still working out for Infamous. They have a Glimmer Cape. Do they have two? They only have one Glimmer Cape, but they have the Silver Edge on the Beastmaster as well. Not really an incredible item when you're sitting under Tower True Sight. That being said, they still get the kill on the Razor and force the buyback. Razor is still in desperate need of some level of threat, I would say. I mean, he has the Sheep Stick, but his threat level in the fight is so slow coming out the gate. It's like, yeah, I'm going to static link you and drain some damage. Maybe that's viable 10 minutes into the game, but now that we're at almost an hour... Man, I wasted an hour of my life watching Dota just now. This is just now dawning on me that this is something I've chosen to do with my life. Yeah, just a quick Force Staff out and static link breaks. And that's a feels bad man moment right there, but they will walk in, take racks. Buyback is now up on the Lone Druid. Infamous got to be careful. They have no Death Prophet, so they don't want to take a real fight here. They will buy back onto Kataro, but he immediately is going to get hit with the Dragon Tail. Oh no! This is really bad. He's going to lose a lot of damage to the Razor as well. Stomp is there as well as the Earth Splitter. Kataro is going to be able to retreat back into the safety of his base. And it will be unpunished, but really, really close to disastrous. If he dies there, that might just be the game. But SG Esports push the lead back to 9k. Spirit is out. They see Stinger. Schofield. Well, he's got some vision from the Hawk. Can probably get a read on where SG Esports are right now.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Yeah, there's still cheese. Does anyone want to check Roche? Hey, SG, you should probably check Roche. I would highly recommend it. Or you can just go ahead and kill everyone. Beastmaster is going to get linked up. Lots of damage grabbed now from the Razor. Though Pepita is here. These Siphons are going to do so much work. One will be broken by the Force Staff. Bardinho will break the second one as well. They get the Sheep Stick onto the Sand King. But they're on full retreat. Someone grab that cheese. They have found an isolated Kataro. Oh no. Oh no, Kataro's going to go down. He's dead for good. The Exorcism is used in the sidelines, but it's not actually doing any damage. They've also cut off the Stinger. He's going to get sent back to the base, though. He will survive. The Chen, probably not. Feel the wrath of the Stapler. Nope. Breathe Fire. That's good, too. And they've also found the Death Prophet. She's going to sheep up one. But the chase is still on. Cask, can it bounce back? It will bounce back. She gets the lift up on herself, but the Spirit is out. The Stomp is coming. Will be a little bit off the mark. They're looking for the Sand King instead. Schofield, long burrow strike out. And looks like they will just go straight for the GG. They know that the Lone Druid's dead for good here. Elder Dragon form up right now. Costa gonna go Super Dragon form. But over in the main base of the Dire, Stinger is pushing. He's pushing like a madman. Look at him go. Is he going faster? He might just be going faster than the Dire side right now. They're gonna find and kill off Schofield, however. Still the bear is going to work. The Beastmaster rather is going to work. They are going to pop the spirits as the Death Prophet is going to get sheeped up. Leposa and Bardinho all here with the Earth Splitter coming in as well. Pita with the BKB. The Siphons trying to survive for a little while longer, but Leposa is doing so much damage. The Siphons keeping Pepita alive. She's not going down. She's still alive. And now here comes the double roar. The Razor's no longer attacking. The spirits are still out, but the Ancient dies in the Radiant base. Okay, I was watching the wrong engagement. That was some terrible camera work. But screw you guys, it's an hour-long game. I deserve a bye on that one. Oh my god, SG Esports, they win the game. I don't know. I don't know, guys. This is... If this goes 5 games, I might just die. Guys, SG Esports win game 1. What a wild ride. Dude, I thought... Oh, that Kataro dieback, though. That was so costly. Pepita siphoning up a hero who has, like, 2 heroes that have 3,000 HP. You get so much HP back. Still, like, it seems like she has Spell Vamp, but she doesn't. I don't know, guys. Let's go to game 2. I'm out. We're going to game 2. Peace.